Hello, teacher. Good evening. This is Roberto Carlos Ibáñez Vázquez, and I am going to talk about Humanistic Curriculum by Christensen and Murray. All right, teacher, here we go. Well, this humanistic curriculum is guided by six principles. But first, uh, I am going to talk about something about humanism, and then the principles, then the affective domain, and finally the humanistic language teaching in practice. Okay, well, Christensen and Murray introduced the concept of a humanistic curriculum rooted in the philosophy of humanism. This approach emphasizes the individual's development and well-being with a focus on self-actualization and personal growth. And then he has six principles. And the first principle is learner choice and control. Well, here we have to mention that learners have the autonomy to make decisions about their learning, including what, how, and when they study. Some teachers don't have or hasn't developed the ability to give students this control. Obviously, I can say two important things. First, because probably they are novice teachers, and second, because they don't have classroom management. So it is not easy after being a teacher for many years. Sometimes for me, it is kind of difficult to do it because when we are not in control of the situation, not on the situation, but on the control of the class, we feel frightened. Well, I feel frightened. All right. The second one is learner concerns and interests. The curriculum is designed around the learner's interests and concerns, making the content relevant and engaging. What I can say about this is that most of the textbooks that we use in our classrooms, well, um, are designed allow learners' interests and concerns, but they are not considering the type of population we are going to teach. For example, the books that are designed are normally for American people, and the books that we use are for Mexican people, well, in case of Mexico. And then the third one, the whole person. Humanistic education addresses not only cognitive aspects, but also emotional, social, spiritual dimensions, promoting holistic development. In this part, it is very important to consider how the how students get to the classroom, because we don't know what type of life they are living or what problems they are having at that specific moment. Then the fourth one, self-evaluation. I can say here that learners are encouraged to reflect on their progress and set their own goals, fostering self-assessment and self-awareness. I can say about this principle that in our culture, not many of our students foster self-assessment or self-awareness. What they are focused on is on learning, but they never reflect on their progress, especially if there is no an exam or an examination. What I have seen is that before an examination is when they start making this reflection, but not as a self-evaluation, just because they are going to take an exam and they need to pass it. Principle 5, collaboration. Humanistic education promotes cooperation and interaction among learners, creating a supportive and inclusive learning environment. Yes, I can say that depends a lot on the teacher's personality and rapport, also experience, because novice teachers sometimes cannot see that. They just only focus on teaching, but they leave apart or they leave behind this important aspect. Well, I can say that no matter if the teacher is novice or it is an expertise in his area or they are expert in their areas, some of them really ask students to cooperate and interact as a natural uh, way. Principle 6, teacher as facilitator. Teachers play the role of facilitators rather than traditional instructors, guiding and supporting learners in their educational process. What I can say about this is that, in a way, Principle 6, asking being teachers, facilitators, is not an easy task to do. Um, as I mentioned before, it depends on teachers' personality, preparation, and of course, the time they have been in front of a group, teaching English in this case. Apart from these principles, humanistic curriculum also takes into consideration the affective domain, focusing on emotions, attitudes, and values, which are considered essential components of effective language learning. There are other authors that mention this important affective domain, and well, if the students don't feel attracted to the class, they are not going to learn. They are going to establish a barrier and they are not going to enjoy their class. And well, the last part is the humanistic language teaching in practice. Well, I can say that humanistic language teaching within this curriculum centers on creating a nurturing and learner-centric classroom atmosphere where learners feel empowered, motivated, and valued. So there is a certain emphasis on meaningful communication, self-expression, and integration of language skills with real life experiences. This approach recognizes that language learning is not merely a cognitive endeavor, but a deeply personal and emotional one, aiming to unlock each learner's full potential and self-fulfillment. Well, teacher, thank you very much. This is the end of this presentation.